Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and a new card making video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 different ways to create backgrounds using Glimmer hot foil plates and foil. This is the Glimmer Burst set. It's the kit of the month for April 2022 from Spellbinders. There are 2 dies that cut out a circle and this like sunshine burst shape. There's also 3 sentiments that are hot foil plates in this set. They fit inside that circle perfectly. And then there's like the burst that's the huge image in this set, and that is what we're going to use to create backgrounds. But first, I thought I would share with you a little hack on Glimmer hot foiling multiple things at one time and getting them placed right where you want them. I'm going to Glimmer hot foil all 3 of the sentiments at once, but I want to be able to then die cut them out with the circle die that came in this kit. So I need them spaced correctly on my piece of paper. I can only have a certain length of paper on my Glimmer hot foil system. So I took a piece of copy paper and I die cut out 3 circles. I'm going to lay down my cardstock, my hot foil, which is pretty side up, and then that template that I made with the copy paper. Then I can lay each of those sentiment plates right in the center of that circle. Then I know when I pull off the template, when I remove the excess foil, I'm going to have 3 sentiments that I can easily then die cut out with the coordinating circle die from this set. So this is going to go on my preheated Glimmer hot foil system face down, and I'll push the timer and add the plates. After about a minute, when that timer goes off, I remove that whole entire platform from the Glimmer hot foil system and run it through my die cut machine. This is going to apply pressure, and along with the heat, those images or sentiments will be pressed into the cardstock. It's kind of like magic. Actually, it's science, but magic makes more sense to me than science. How about you? All right, I'm removing those plates and the foil, and then you can see I have my sentiments nice and hot foiled. There is some excess foiling on here, but I'm using the circle die. Most of it's going to be cut away, except that little piece, which I'll show you how I remove in just a moment, but I'm going to go ahead and die cut these out. Now, when I'm taping my die down, I'm being careful not to put the tape over any hot foiling. It has the potential to dull out the shine of the foil. This is my mono sanding eraser. This works great for areas that you have foiled that you don't want to be there anymore. The mess up parts, the parts where it excess foils. And you can see how this mounts perfectly on that round burst shape. Okay, let's move that aside and work on some backgrounds. This is that largest plate. It measures 5 1/4 by 3 1/4. So it's going to work great on your A2 size cards, but in today's video, I'm going to show you 2 other card sizes you can use this plate on. I am using my quick trimmer to cut down my Prism foil to the perfect size for that plate, and it's got a self-healing mat. It's got the grid on top that has grooves in it. You just use the little blade that comes with it, and you can cut this perfectly. I love it. Okay, so I'm laying this down onto my cardstock face up with the plate face down, and then I'll tape that in place. This whole thing is going to go onto my Glimmer hot foil system face down. The foil that I'm using is the Prism foil. It's silver with an iridescent finish. It is the foil that comes with this kit from Spellbinders. It's so delicious with that rainbow finish. Okay, when you run this through your die machine, be sure to go nice and slow. If you go really fast, you're in a hurry, it's going to bounce around, which could cause the plate to move and actually do some like ghost foiling. It's not very cute. So I don't like to do that, but I just thought I should warn you so that it doesn't happen to you. Okay, there it is, all hot foiled. I think that it's so pretty. Okay, we are creating 3 different backgrounds. You could leave this just as it is hot foiled, but did you know that you can do resist with hot foiling? You can take your ink, go right over the top, and the ink will not stick to wherever the hot foil is. So you can create fun and unique backgrounds with ink blending. I used some saltwater taffy because it's new and it's super fun and it's so gorgeous. And then I'm also using some mustard seed. And speaking of things that are new, this is the Media Grip Mat. Oh my gosh, I am in love with it. Nothing is moving anywhere. It's so fabulous. Next, I'm going to spritz that with water and get some of those splatter marks because I love splatter, so I've got to do it. I picked up the excess water, and then I'm going to bring in some handmade watercolors. These are from a brand new Etsy shop by LH Colors. This is a shimmery, glittery watercolor. It is handmade and it's a brand new shop started by a fellow crafter. I know her, Linnea, and she's brand new, so we've got to give her some love. I'm going to link her shop for you below. The ones I used, I got for free, and it's kind of a sneak peek of some watercolors about to come out. So go check her out, give her some love. I think it's fabulous to support each other, to support our fellow crafters, especially when they start out on their own endeavors. So here I am using that same Dreamsicle watercolor to paint the edge of my starburst shape. It's a sunshine shape, whatever you want to call it. There it is, all painted, and look, when I turn this in the light, do you see how shimmery glittery that is? I love it. Okay, once that was dry, it was a little bit warped, so I decided to glue it onto a second die cut to give it a little bit more sturdiness. And while that is drying, I glued down this extra strip of textured cardstock that I happen to have on hand that goes really well with that saltwater taffy. I love that. Next, I'm going to put my sentiment on top of my sunshine shape with some foam squares, and then I'll glue this down onto that background. But I just love how it has the opening in the background shape for your sentiment. Like it's just shooting out the rays of glimmer behind it. So cool. I mounted that onto an A2 sized card, and now it's time for embellishments. These are the Amber Glow Rhinestones from Trinity Stamps. If you have watched my channel before, you know I pretty much love all the Trinity Stamps embellishments. They have so much variety, and then the things that they have, they sell in like multiple colors. So this is kind of a light orange. It goes perfect because it has an iridescent finish on top, so it really goes with the foil that I'm using and all the shimmer and shine and watercolor. Okay, we're moving on to background number 2, and this time I'm using Aura foil. It's gold with an iridescent finish, and we're going to hot foil onto patterned paper. Another way you can make backgrounds using the Glimmer hot foil. If you haven't tried this before, it's so fun to kind of like alter your patterned paper and adds a layer of shimmer to it, a layer of shine. I love it. This is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So this time I am creating an A7 size card. Now you can see I am repeating this and doing the same thing on the other end of this paper. And when it's all said and done, you're going to see it hot foils this almost perfectly. There is about a 1/2 inch gap between the two backgrounds on here, but you could just leave it like this. It's not that weird. Should I say weird? I think it's cool this way. I am going to put a little strip on mine. But first I wanted to show you that I hot foiled my sentiment onto a light yellow piece of cardstock and did my sunburst with some green. And I thought, well, I've got that green watercolor, so I might as well add a little green watercolor to this one. So it's got that shimmery, glittery edge, just like my first one had. And I'm also going to do some ink blending. So I have Vintage Photo. I didn't use my Media Grip mat for the whole thing on this one because I needed to do just the edge, so I was having a hard time. It grips so well. I was having a hard time letting my brush like flow over the edge of the paper. And I'm also splattering with that same color, and it's really just draws your eye into the center of this paper. So to go across the center of my paper, I pulled out some like burlap that I had on hand. It's actually like backed with paper, but you could use regular burlap. I love to use burlap on my cards, and I felt like it really went with the brown kind of, is it kind of like a tiki hut vibe to you? I feel like it is. So now I'm mounting my sentiment on top of my shimmery, glittery sunshine shape, and I'll pop that whole thing up on my card with some foam squares. And it is so fun. It's like a really fun birthday themed card, I think. So here's my A7 card base. So it's a 10 inches by 7 inches piece of paper scored at 5 inches. And now I'm adding some baubles. These are lovely Latte. So they're brown, but they have an iridescent finish. So like my hot foil has an iridescent finish. I'm just repeating that element in my card. And that finishes up card number 2. I think that one was pretty easy to do, hot foiling it twice, right? Just flipping it over. Next, we're going to repeat hot foiling, and I'm using a slimline base that I already had done. It's watercolored, and it's on watercolor paper, which I'm not going to lie, hot foiling on watercolor paper is not perfect. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to roll my plate forward and back, going really slow, because you remember, I don't want that bounce. But if you want your hot foiling to be like pristine, don't do watercolor paper. That's what I'm going to say. I don't mind if my hot foil isn't pristine. I kind of like a shabby chic look on a lot of things. And on this particular background, like I said, it was watercolor, but it also had like some metallic ink smooshing. I really don't remember what I did on this background, but I saved it because I didn't end up using the whole piece that I made. And now you can see I moved the plate down and I foiled again. So I'm just repeating this. And some of that hot foiling is even overlapping. So it is totally okay to hot foil over something that's already been hot foiled. Oh, take that in for a minute. All right, so I've done that 3 times and I think it made such a cool effect. It kind of looked, I don't know, looks like underwater to me. I don't know why. Or when I put it all together, it kind of had the look of fireworks. But I really wanted to do something that was more like stardust, because this last sentiment says, "You're the stardust in my day." So this is what my mind came up with. I took a piece of silver glitter paper and I wanted it to go all the way down the center of the card, but I didn't have a piece that was 8.5 inches, so I just cut it apart, and I'm going to cover that center up with my sentiment that I wanted towards the top of the paper anyway, like it's kind of up in the sky. And now it's time for more embellishments. These they're like confetti stars that have an iridescent finish, are called Oh My Stars, and they're also from Trinity. I'm just going to have them kind of cascade down the paper, and then I'm going to add one more embellishment to this, and those are some gems. These are rainbow finished as well, and I think they're so pretty. They're called Rainbow Reflection Gemstones. So I'm going to have all these embellishment things linked for you below, as well as all the kits of the month from Spellbinders, because they have Glimmer hot foil kit. They have a large die of the month, which I just did a video on, a small die, a card kit, a stamp set, an embossing folder, like so many cool things. And if you like this like burst shape, that's what the embossing folder of the month is. It's that kind of that shape, and it's a 9x6 embossing folder. It's so cool. All right, so that finishes up my 3 different backgrounds. I love making my own backgrounds, so throwing the Glimmer hot foil in with making backgrounds just brings me even more joy. So thank you for stopping by and visiting with me today. I love sharing my creations with you. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, I have my Glimmer hot foil playlist linked for you right here. You can check that out. I'll see you all again very soon on the next video. Happy stamping! Bye!